Thank you for taking the trouble to come here, and to Sandeep and Simriti for hosting this satsang. Normally, I begin by speaking a few words, but since we have little time, if anyone would like to share anything or ask anything, you all are welcome to do so. Very briefly, I was asked before the satsang, why are we all here on this planet? What is the purpose of it all? And simply put, although it sounds perhaps a bit morbid, this is the classroom of life, and the only certainty is death. That is why it is called Mrityu Lok. This is the realm of death, which we are born into. Birth means death. This is the realm of duality of every conceivable kind. Left and right, up and down, front and back, rich and poor, health and disease, pleasure and pain, inhalation and exhalation, and so on. We have been born and imprisoned in the framework of duality. And most of us suffer this duality by preferring one end of the polaric opposites. So we want pleasure, we don't want pain, and so on and so forth. But when we realize that the design of life is duality, of every conceivable kind, then we are willing to face life and all that it brings us. That is the turning point. This willingness to know that there's no way out but through. What is called as transcending the pairs of opposites. When I accept God has not guaranteed me good health all my life. God has not guaranteed me pleasure after pleasure after pleasure. That is the spiritual birth. That all right, all I can do is try and manage my situation. Rest is not in my control. So what happens is, this realm of death becomes my greatest teacher. Because in daily living, it means dying to small things. I have an opinion about a movie which I saw, which I liked. And my friend has the opposite view. He hates the movie. And to accept his view is as valuable as mine. means I don't oppose his view. I accept that a contrary view is possible to my view. So I have died to my view. My view, which I thought was the only way, when I die to that, it is a death. So the death of the me and my story and my drama is the lesson to be learned. Because there's nothing else that can die, you see. In deep sleep, we are not troubled by daily living. In deep sleep, there is the absence of the me which is troubled, and that is why sleep is deep. And we all wake up and say, I slept so well. And you slept well because you were not there. That's the joke. Means you have proof that your absence, your very absence, is your deepest peace. And the joke is, in the West, when you are dead and buried, they say rest in peace, means it is acknowledged that you didn't live in peace. So at least once you're dead, you're at peace. So this learning about the death of the me, the masks which I wear, the roles I play, trying to win people's love, trying to enforce my views on them, trying to dominate and control, when I start dying to all this, then I start living. And so there are two tenets of this teaching. One, the total acceptance of the divine will. Thy will be done. The total and complete acceptance that there is an intelligence and a will far superior to mine, because I have proved to myself that no matter how hard I try, the outcome has rarely been in my control. And two, that nobody is the doer of their actions. Although it appears to be, in this realm of duality, me and the other are the polaric opposites. But the fact is that the people who love you the most and those who have troubled you the most are all appearing within your own consciousness. So you are equally close to the one you love and the one who triggers you the most. All appearances are appearances in consciousness, because if you were dead, you would not see anything. So life is teaching us that everyone we meet, starting with our closest bonds, which is family, to friends, to colleagues at work, are all instruments of the one source consciousness through whom the same energy functions. But through this design of life, I am in opposition to some people and I love others. I have polarized consciousness into those I hold dear to me and those I keep afar. And life will constantly teach me this. That the same consciousness functions through all. It is my own views and opinions about people which give me a polarized view. This is the realization. Realization is not about being in states of samadhi in order to realize the self. If the self was truly realized, then you would be operating as an expression of the realized self. That is why when someone got a bar of chocolate to Ramana Maharshi, he counted the number of devotees in the room and broke the chocolate by those many pieces and distributed one piece to each person. Because he felt no sense of separation. What we do is we give expensive gifts to the ones we love and cheaper gifts to the ones we don't love as much. That is human nature. So to see the hand of God above everyone is what this rediscovery of life is about. This is the rediscovery of life. Because the Maya is so strong. You see, if the one self stood before mirrors in a hall of mirrors, it would only see itself because there is no other. The Maya is, we see others. That is the illusion. When a barking dog goes into a hall of mirrors and barks, its reflection will be barking dogs. This one source consciousness creates the illusion of two. And so I think that the others are different from me. And I pass judgment on them. Without realizing, I am judging an aspect of my own self. When this is realized, this is called waking up from the living dream of life. The other cannot be excluded from it. Because you see, there are only three kinds of relationships in life. My relationship with others, whoever they may be. My relationship with what happens in my life is also a relationship. How do I relate to what happens in my life? And my relationship with myself. This dualistic universe means I relate to something. And when I see the hand of God above everyone, then my relationship is now with God. When I see that all pleasures and pains come from the same source, my relationship is with the source from which they come. And when I see my own so-called imperfections and failings are not my doing, I have been conditioned and programmed a certain way, my relationship is again with God. You see, so this is called living bhakti. When I see the hand of God in daily living, that is Advaita Bhakti. Otherwise, what happens? I'm very happy with my chanting, and my puja and my arti and my temple at home or shrine. But when I come out of it and interact with people, I am my same nasty self, ensuring that those who hurt me, I hurt back. You are mean to me, so I'll be mean to you. So then that is not true bhakti. True bhakti is to see that there is no power apart from God. That is what the entire Bhagavad Gita is on. The ego deluded thinks I am the doer. Chapter 3, verse 27. Which also means the ego deluded thinks others are doers. So, imbibing the concept of non-doership is directly related to my peace. And it just comes down to peace. Whether it was the Buddha who said it is about Sukha Shanti, or when Ramana Maharshi was asked, how do I know a sage is a sage? His answer was very simple. By the degree of peace I feel in their presence. Nothing else. This quest for peace is the sadhana. Because it is everyone's birthright. The spiritual practice is the quest for this peace. That is why the American mystic Joel Goldsmith would say, be a benediction of peace wherever you go. But most of the times, with the garbage we carry in our minds and meet people, we are not even available for them. We have our own data and story churning around in our mind. My life, my problems, my situations, I have to rush back to my home, my family, my this, my that. That is what we are bringing to our interactions with people. So we are talking garbage dumps, and we are dumping it all on others. And not only that, we are doing a good job of disturbing other people's peace, which is their birthright. We talk about not harming anyone, but ours is very covert harm. Subtle, hidden, passive. There is a doctor who comes to satsang at home religiously. And he said, my only prayer for everyone is that they be at peace. So I said, that's such a noble thought. He said, it's not noble. I am only praying they are at peace so they don't disturb my peace. You see? So for those on this journey, who are drawn to satsang, which is the journey of truth, the gathering of truth, when one is ripe enough, one has seen enough ups and downs to know that this is really not worth it. All these masks I'm wearing, people pleasing, socializing beyond a limit. As Lester Levinson said, socializing is looking for love in the wrong place. Wanting to be loved, so acquiring relationships, acquiring friendships. To what end? Because ultimately it is your relationship with yourself. Are you comfortable with yourself? So this Mrityu Lok, the loka of death, becomes a gift. I'm here to learn lessons. And what happens when lessons are not learned? I have to repeat them. That is the design of life. God is very kind. He'll keep giving us the same lessons again and again. And then we wonder why patterns are being repeated. You see? Some can come in front here if there's no space at the back. And so be thankful to those who push your buttons. Because firstly, they are bringing out what's within you. That garbage is already within you and they are giving it a chance to come up. They just appear to be pushing your buttons. But they are giving an opportunity to release the negativity and toxicity which is buried deep. They are your greatest teachers. Are we willing to have that courage to be grateful to them? That you are revealing to me my true nature. We tell people you bring out the worst in me, but that is within you. An aspect of your own consciousness is doing you a favor by bringing out the worst in you. It takes courage to accept that. So that it is seen and released. Seen and released. And you suddenly can't imagine that this was all a game which I was playing with myself. Because I had expectations from people. I did so many things for them, so they must do things for me. And if they don't, I am disappointed in their behavior. As my teacher said once to someone, who the bloody hell are you? Who the bloody hell are you? So entitled. God owes you a favor. So he didn't mince his words. And the more and more one is at peace, the more and more one is quiet. Because the mind is quiet. When all this garbage of ill will, condemnation, blame, hatred, malice is thrown out of the mind, it's a quieter mind. A quieter mind perhaps means fewer words. That is why Nisargadatta Maharaj said realized people are very quiet. He didn't mean they are talking less. He meant their mind is at peace. And then people get attracted to that peace. Because everyone is in quest for peace, but most don't know it. Most don't know it. So next time you're in an argument with someone, if you just try this simple experiment, just drop your position. The other will be disarmed. And you will think, my God, I was holding on to it so strongly. It was just a position. I tried this once in the early years with someone who was having an argument with me. I said, I agree with you completely. So they were shocked. Really? I said, yes. Because if I was in your shoes, then I would say what you're saying. But then I added, but I'm not in your shoes. So he got very upset. But you see, when you put yourself in the other person's shoes, first you have to step out of yours. You have to abandon your conditioning. See the person in front, that if you were conditioned the way they were, you have no idea about their backstory, how they were treated by their parents, by their siblings. You have no clue, but you have judged someone on what they say. So when you step out of your shoes, abandon your position, and realize this person is playing out their script based on their divine destiny, it becomes so much lighter. You see, this is the way they have been designed. Why have I taken it so personally all this time? As if someone was attacking me. You see, the ego is a very personal thing. This baby is born pure being, Bal Krishna. Then the ego develops at the age of 1.5, the sense of separation. A name is given and this child is bombarded to respond to a particular name. This is me now. If I cry, someone comes running. And the ego is shaped by society, by the parents, by school, by friends, by religion, by income group. And it becomes hard. And pure being, pure consciousness becomes limited to the ego. And I take offense. I start taking offense. I find people offensive. And so, the life has become a battle and I must survive. I must have my guns and missiles and torpedoes out because the world is out to get me. And that pure being, which is right here, right now, that baby has not left us. Pure consciousness is why we are alive. But this crust of the ego has set in, and the ego says, I must survive. Pure being has no interest in living or dying. It is pure being. To rediscover that purity, which is who we are in our true nature, is the spiritual journey. Rather than reacting, which is nothing but reacting, replaying out the script again and again and again. You throw something at me, I throw it back. Moving to response. Knee-jerk reaction to response. Knee-jerk reaction to response. This happens when we transcend these eyes of duality, which see with physical eyes, two eyes, the eyes of duality, and we start seeing through the eye of singularity, the eye of Shiva, the third eye, which rises above the dualistic universe and which is the eye of wisdom. You see? This third eye, to know that God is playing through everyone. I've seen through it all. That becomes the journey of life. And what happens? When this eye opens, the heart opens. Because I feel earlier someone who was being difficult with me, I hated them. Now compassion arises. What must this person have gone through to say the nasty things they say? What must have been their life experience? So the heart starts opening up. The ego has created the boundaries, the walls, the barriers. The heart starts bringing them down. This is the journey from the head to the heart. Resting in the heart. A change of heart. A change of heart can only be brought about when there is a change of vision. You see, most of humanity is living through the lower centers of the body. Flight and fight, battle for survival. The spiritual aspirant is at a place where all that is now transcended. The spiritual aspirant has given up the love of power. This is all a power game. My power over others is the game I've been playing. The spiritual aspirant is now ready to die to that power over others. Where the love of power is given a chance to switch to the power of love. And nobody is excluded from it. Not even the stranger on the road. There is no such thing as a chance encounter. It is all scripted and written. And in a nutshell, what is it to realize the oneself? When I am aware that life is like a game of chess, black and white is the land of duality. The chessboard of life. Roles are assigned: king, queen, knight, bishop, castle, pawns. Both armies are being moved by a hand above them. And at the end of the game, no matter who wins or loses, all the pieces are going into the same box. When I can live this understanding through my most challenging relationships, then I know I have arrived. You see, there is a Sanskrit saying which translates as the rivers of karma run deep. The rivers of karma run deep because we hold people responsible and accountable for being the doers. So those grooves are etched and etched and etched and run so deep that we keep reincarnating into those same relationships again and again and again. Same arguments, same issues, same things. There's no way out. But when we absolve people, we still have to act. We still have to act. We decide what we think and feel we should do. But we are no longer targeting an individual. We are dealing with a situation. That is the only difference. Our mind is no longer full of garbage and accusation and hatred. It is empty. But I have a situation to deal with, which is what the whole Gita is about. There is a war which has come unasked. In the Jnaneshwari, Krishna says, a war that has come unasked is a gateway to heaven. You didn't ask for it. You see, so I still have to do something in a situation and decide what I should do, knowing that nobody is the doer of their actions. If this lesson is learnt, why would you need to come back to learn it again? Because you have realized the one self. Then certain words get erased from our dictionary. Words of the dead past. Oh, only if I had. And words in an imaginary future. Those words don't exist anymore. And would, should, and could. Because you are so alive to the present moment and what it offers. You know, we make new friends because we don't know their past. It's really true. Oh wow, we went to a party, we met so great guy, we got along, because thankfully you don't know their past. But can you meet everyone, including those you know and you've been with, as if you met them today? That is what life is about. Because they are that same shining, pure being. You know, as it says in the Bible, the light shineth in the darkness, but the darkness comprehend it not. It's the darkness of the ego. Light still shines. To see that God shining in everyone's eyes, no matter what, is to relate to that one source consciousness, disguised as a person, to fool you, and you get fooled. I mean, imagine if God came to you today and said, that I'll be taking you away at 8 p.m. And so you're looking at your watch, and are you going to think about all your resentments, animosities, hatred? You see, it's an important point, because at the moment of death, only the physical body drops. The food body, the Annamaya Kosha and the Pranamaya Kosha drops a little later. But your bundle of thoughts, emotions, feelings, they are there in subtle form. They are here in subtle form. You can't see them. That's why they are subtle. So you'll realize that you are really a bundle of misconceptions and misperceptions. And that is what you take to your grave. Trying to be other than your own nature. Why? Because the world is a hard place. I must learn to be strong. Is it? Why not just be yourself? Oh no, then I'll be walked all over. Will you? Is that guaranteed that you'll be walked all over? How do you know? You're assuming it because people told you. So what is your swadharma? What is your swabhava? Be true to your nature. Like attracts like. We are vibrations. A troubled vibration will attract trouble. A peaceful vibration will attract peace. What is the vibration? I had a friend in Bombay. He studied the science of mantras all his life and vibrations, to such an extent that he told me, we were sitting on Marine Drive by the promenade. He said, Gautam, if you were reciting a mantra constantly, and I'm sitting next to you, and I don't know what mantra you're reciting, and you get up and go home, I'll see the imprint of the mantra where you're sitting. Vibration. We are vibratory fields. So if we are vibrating with conflict and a confused mind, that is what is pulsing out of the system. And the law is like attracts like. That is why even someone like Eckhart Tolle has said that an active pain body will most likely meet with an accident on the road because it's attracting another active pain body. So that is why this emphasis in the Indian spiritual tradition on peace. Because peace is a living samadhi. Others are states, nirvikalp, savikalp, keval, this samadhi, that samadhi, all right. But even from the highest samadhis, you have to operate in life. It's the ultimate samadhi. That is why when I read Ramana Maharshi's words, because people would tell me, it's not as simple as that. It's not just peace. I said, really? But I find I'm attracted to only peace. No, there are other states. There's more. I was so confused that one day I said to Ramana Maharshi, you better answer this for me. And I opened the book randomly, Talks with Ramana Maharshi. Now I've forgotten the page number. And I read these words. The state of equanimity is the state of bliss, full stop. I closed the book and I said, that is it. The state of equanimity is the state of bliss. You see, nobody can take away from you what is meant for you. And what is not meant for you will not be with you. It is irrelevant who is doing the taking away. I was mentioning to someone that when I was 16 years old, I had seen enough of troubles in life. So I wrote, my logical mind of a 16-year-old wrote, why worry? Question mark. What is meant to happen in life will happen, so worrying won't prevent it from happening, full stop. What is not meant to happen will not happen, so worrying is a waste of time, full stop. And I started reciting this 1,000 times a day. Did it give me peace? No. The rational mind had figured it out as far as worrying was concerned. The peace came when I met my Guru, and I realized the meanings of the words love, trust, and surrender. When I realized that this transition from the mind to the heart means a total surrender, hands up. Hands up comes from the Egyptians. If you see the Egyptian hieroglyphs and drawings, it actually meant above the mind. Helplessness, above the mind, hands up. When you realize the futility of all your battles, you surrender to life. Then the transformation takes place. Ego does not want to surrender. Surrender is when witnessing the flow of life starts happening more and more rather than being embroiled in it, trying to find a way out. Would anyone like to share anything?
Hello, Gautam. Thank you for coming here. I was thrilled when I found out you were coming here. I'm not a traveller. I get scared travelling. I just came on the train from Swindon.
From where?
From Swindon,
Swindon, is
Swindon,
it?
Wiltshire.
Okay.
I've been aware of your teachings now for about 3 years. And to be honest, when I first started watching you, I thought, who is this guy? Is he trying it on? Is he going to be one of these pretend gurus?
Fair enough.
And strangely enough, I found listening to you and watching a peacefulness, a peace arising. I suddenly found myself feeling so much more peaceful. In Christianity, I'm a Christian, they say that the presence of the Holy Spirit is peace. And so I just want to say thank you for this beautiful teaching. And thank you for the people who have organized this today. Thank you.
Thank you. Same pretend guru thing?
Pretty much, yeah. I just want to thank you for being here because I've been waiting to meet you, and today is like a blessing for me.
What is your name?
Shafiq.
Shafiq. And you're from London?
Yes, I live in West London. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever there's an event in Mumbai, I get the emails and I see that, but it's only a week notice, so it's just not enough.
Right.
So I wrote once to someone and I said, could you make it a bit longer? But it never happens. So this was like a real blessing.
Yeah, hopefully it'll happen. It'll be more in a rhythm. So because many people come from out of town and out of the country, so they also say it's too short notice periods. But do you come to India at all?
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, I'm actually a spiritual kind of seeker. Have been for many years. But, people say that you're spiritually, I don't know what the word is, but you go from guru to guru and you search.
Hopping.
Shopping. Yeah. Or
shopping.
Promiscuous is the word. But I was born in a Muslim family.
Yeah.
And that is my underlying thing that I hold on to. But there's not much information there. It's just basically a practice, so I practice that.
Right.
And I get a lot of peace from that. But I wanted to understand a lot more. So I've been coming to India on a regular basis to see another guru, etc. So I haven't been for a while. And when I first saw you there, and in fact, I heard about you from Ramesh Balsekar to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And that changed everything in me completely. It was like, oh my God, this man really knows what he's talking about. But then at the end of that, I heard that he'd passed away. So I was a little disappointed. But then I heard that you'd been, and I saw you in one of the videos there, like, you were sitting there and he was like, oh my God, this is the man for me. I need to really listen to him more and more.
An American came to satsang and he said, Nisargadatta dead. Then I studied Ramesh Balsekar, dead. So I wanted to meet someone not dead yet. I said, all right. So far I'm here.
But I love the whole lineage, Then before Ramesh, it was Nisargadatta, and before that was Ramana Maharishi. And I've actually been to Arunachala and I've loved every minute of it. I went to the
Virupaksha cave.
Yeah, cave. I sat there for what I thought was 20 minutes meditation. But when I came out, it was 4 hours had gone by.
Wow.
And it was so...
Free gift. Ramesh would say you've been given a free sample.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was blown out. I thought this is what I was looking for, And the experiences I had were absolutely beautiful there. So, and then, and I know that the bottom line in spirituality is surrender. And I could not know how to surrender. How do you surrender?
Sure.
I've read so much. Okay, so you sit in meditation and you let go. So you do that, but you do that and you do that, and it goes on and on and on, but you never feel like you've surrendered. Until I heard Ramesh and then I heard you. And then I said, if you understand that God is one, God is in charge, everything is meant to be, God is doing everything, which is, I guess, what you're saying really is, suddenly it hit me quite deep. And overnight, I was completely transformed. It was like, this is right. This is it. This is surrender. This is how you need to be. And this happened about a year or so ago. And I've been listening to you every Sunday morning, which is a real treat. I wake up and there's a video there. And I sit and I really enjoy that. And that sets me up for a whole week. And I then try and remember those words, and every situation that happens, it's meant to be.
Yeah, and it just kind of reaffirms that understanding.
Yeah. And when I come into a tiff with someone, it's like, well, let it be, that you can't, this person, there's just two things that are within this person. There's the DNA and there's the conditioning. If you remember that, then you realize that person is what he is. He can't help what he's doing.
Right.
And that has changed so much. My whole life has changed because of that.
Yeah, I can understand that completely.
And so today was a blessing, and I'm so thankful that you're here.
So I have a Sufi mentor in Kashmir.
Yes, I remember you said.
And it is so close in spirit to this teaching. We don't understand each other very well because there's a language barrier. But they have like prayers, they have in Sufism zikrs.
Yes.
There's certain head movements and certain things they say, it comes down to this: God is all pervasive, all knowing, all powerful. And to the extent that I would even show him on the website my guru's photos and try to make him familiar with the lineage. And one day he offered to me, he belongs to, there are silsilas in Sufism, streams, right? So he gave me something to sit on. And I said, what is this? And he said, I'm offering you the Sufi seat. So I said, Baba, but I have my own lineage. He said, but I fully understand that. I don't have a problem with it. Do you? So I said, look, as long as it's clear, I'm fine. So then he told me in Sufism, like we have a lineage, parampara it is called. The job of the Sufi master is to actually link you to his master, whether the master is in the body or not. At a certain stage, if his master is not in the body, he'll take you to the master's grave and make you pray there to link. Because their function is to link you through the lineage to Allah. So, the concepts are so similar.
Yes.
Everything is the same at the end of the day. So it's very beautiful to see that and I keep quoting the Sufi mystic Bhai Sahib of Kanpur, where his disciple asked him, what does parampara mean? And he said it means heart to heart. She said, really? I thought it meant lineage. He said, no, that's literal. But parampara means you're connected heart to the lineage. Not mind to mind.
Heart to heart.
Heart to heart. Param means first of the first. Parampara. Like Parabrahman. Brahman, Parabrahman. Parampara. Means the source. And I say that if someone was abusing you, and people laugh at this, the way I say it, but it's true. Like if someone gives you a bad word, who's good at bad words here? Maybe. Huh? Sandeep, do you? Yeah. And you were just to stretch it out, like he says it in slow motion, right? He says it very slowly, it won't affect you. It is the speed and velocity at which it comes that you react to it. It's a vibration bomb. If someone is very sweetly saying, it's like, like let's say Annabelle says something that so sweetly, you're not going to take offense. It's what is the vibration behind it. You see, that is very important to understand where we are coming from. See, there are 4 stages. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vekhari. From the source emerges a thought gets converted to words, and words to sound. It happens so quickly that we react to someone because we are just at words. This person is saying this to me, saying that to me. But if we just step back and we just make this person speak in slow motion, so slow, you can see it arising from the silence, coming out and coming gently at you. But this mirage of time is so strong. It appears to be happening instantly. That is the Maya. And Maharaj said, be very careful because words have weight. Words have weight, and when they are emitted, they fall on the ground. What does that mean? The seeds of karma are sown. So when the master say, mark your words, be careful, think about what you say, it means this. Once issued, the words cannot be taken back. You see, the tongue, Ramana Maharshi said the tongue is the toughest. I thought, how the hell out of all the senses is the tongue the problem? Then I realized, I introspected for myself. See, eyes, you have no control over what you see. There's no doership. You open your eyes, you see things. Ears, you have no control over what you're going to hear. Absolutely no. Tongue. Tongue is a repository of all that has happened to you since your birth. And this is a weapon. The Indian sages knew that the tongue is a weapon because they had developed the science of mantras to such a degree that they could utter a mantra and a wall would fall down. So the most doership is here. The words we speak can sear through people, wound them. And so, less doership, the tongue is at rest. It is a very important point. So, thank you for that.
Thank you. I mean, I
sharing.
think the whole concept of, thy will be done or inshallah, it has totally different meaning now. And it's so beautiful. It's just...
It is really. And it's like there are no comebacks. Once you're in it, then you can't go back. And even if you do, it's temporary.
Yeah. I mean, things which I'd done in the past, which I thought I was responsible for, suddenly I'm not guilty anymore. I don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And the whole thing has changed. The weight is taken off. And you
Absolutely.
feel... And then you're flying again. You're free. You fly. And I think this is wonderful. Life changes.
Beautiful. That's for the recording.
First of all, I want to say thank you. I'm coming for the first time. I saw your Instagram reel, and that's it. I'm blown away. I don't know. And then there was something came up like what's a WhatsApp group, and there was some advertisement that this is going on. I'm like, okay, let me see how's that. But I think it is resonating with me. And but my question is, when you say vibrations, so what's the way to put your vibrations up, and how to protect that?
This whole teaching is geared to put your vibration up. You don't need to do anything. Just understanding life through this teaching does that. Like he's given his example, Shafiq has given his example. You just see people differently, you see situations differently from what you have been conditioned to. That seeing differently is the change in vibration.
Right. So how it happens, like changing like vision. You said changing the vision.
I'll tell you. Supposing there is someone in your life who's really been the source of your pain. I'm sure we all have that one relationship which troubles us. And you see this in the light of this teaching, which was not your understanding earlier. Like he said, you realize this person is playing out their script. Your vibration has changed. You don't need to now do something further. Because you didn't have an understanding earlier, now you have it. So you are awakened to a new understanding. Awakening means what? I am awakened to something which I was not aware of earlier. You learn driving.
Okay.
You get a license once you pass the test.
Yeah.
Because you know how to do things around in the car and all that, right? But you're still afraid to go on the road and drive from here to central London because you're new to it. 2 years you're driving. You're given the license, you practice, you start. After 2 years, one day you're driving to central London. Music is playing, you're at peace, and you say, my God, 2 years ago, I would have been full of fear. Now it's so peaceful. Then you know that that license has delivered you to peace of mind. So that is a process. It takes time. It is gradual. Or it can be overnight sometimes.
What's that process?
This is the process, seeing whatever happens in your life from this moment onwards in the light of this teaching. So if something good happens, pleasure will arise. What is your name?
Sneha.
Sneha will feel immense pleasure, but no pride, because Sneha will know, I didn't do it. God gave me a set of abilities and circumstances and the outcome was positive. So pleasure arises for sure, it's the human experience, but no pride or arrogance. Similarly, Sneha tries her hand at something and it fails. Definitely disappointment will arise, human experience, but no guilt or shame. I tried my best, it was not meant to be. You see, what we do is we are so hooked on to the outcomes that we go through this, we are all bipolar. In that sense, because we are all polarized, shifting like this. That is what being bipolar is, right? Clinically, of course, it has bigger implications, but to make you understand it, we are always swinging. Our pendulum is going like this. When it starts slowing down, when I'm not too attached to pleasures and not too disturbed by pain, that pendulum is coming to the still point. So, disappointment when something doesn't go the way I thought it would. But I don't beat myself up because I'm not the doer.
Yeah.
Pleasure when something goes my way, but no pride or arrogance. That's how I start living my life. I let life flow. That is how peace is found. And I'm gentle on others. I understand they are doing exactly what they are meant to do. I'm gentle on others, I'm gentle on myself, I'm at peace. You see, because if you're hard on someone else, it's actually you're being hard on yourself for that aspect you see in someone else. That is the joke. Ultimately, it's only about you. You know, there's Nisargadatta Maharaj gave what I consider very high sadhana. If someone is saying something and you just make their body disappear and imagine something in consciousness babbling at you, you will not take offense. Really. There's this demon in your life, okay?
Yeah.
And suddenly this demon is going at you and you just evaporate the body and you see something from consciousness emanating like a voice in the sky, you will not be troubled. Will you be troubled? No, but there's that object there, which is a pain in the ass. You see, it is very simple. The manifest world is a reflection of the source, because there can't be anything besides the source. The source is all-knowing, all-powerful, all-pervading. It is everything. The reflection cannot be apart from the source. If you go and stand before a mirror, your reflection depends on you standing before the mirror. Can your reflection come and stand on its own? It needs you to stand before the mirror for you to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this manifest world is a reflection of yourself. It needs you to see it. But we think the reflection is others. We don't realize we are the ones standing before the mirror. Do you get it?
Yes.
So everyone you see is a reflection of yourself. Everyone. Nobody is excluded. Hard to imagine.
What you see in others exists in you.
There are no others. Actually, there are no others. That is the highest teaching. When Ramana Maharshi was asked this, he said, ultimately, there are no others.
It's us.
There is only us.
So now I'm at peace, which means I'm seeing myself to you.
Yes,
Yeah?
exactly. Absolutely. You see, let's put it another way. You are speaking because you are conscious. You're not dead, right? You're alive. So you are speaking. I am also speaking because I am conscious. So who is speaking? Wouldn't you say consciousness is speaking and consciousness is listening? There is only consciousness speaking through one instrument and listening through the other. Electricity, when you have a juicer at home, when you switch the switch on, it creates juice. Is the juicer creating the juice or the electricity which is enabling the juicer to create it?
Electricity.
So consciousness is that electricity. So actually consciousness is listening to itself and consciousness is speaking. There is only one consciousness. Can you even imagine it is consciousness speaking through everyone and listening through everyone? Because that is the truth. In the kitchen, we don't want the juicer to make toast for us because we know it is designed to make juice. But in life, we want the juicer to make toast. We want the person who's behaving that way to behave this way. It's not designed to make toast. Then we are telling that juicer, you should know how to make toast. And I feel I know better than you. And I think you're not doing your best to make toast. You get it? It's absurd. It's a theater of the absurd, and we are the clowns of the circus. Huh?
Yeah. Thank you.
This whole thing becomes really a show, the grand show. The circus of life.
Hello, Gautamji. I've been listening to you for a few years now, and I have many questions. Whatever you are saying, it all makes sense. It is easy and difficult to understand at the same time. I want to know how important it is to have a guru in life and how to know that you have arrived, you have met your guru.
Before that, when we stop making sense of life, we start living it. When you realize life really doesn't make sense, why do bad things happen to good people? Doesn't make sense. So when we stop analyzing life away through the rational left brain, trying to connect the dots and all that, and we realize some people work so little, earn so much, and then there's the flip side, and so on and so forth. We stop analyzing life. Why did God do this to me? What harm did I do to this person? Why did this family member treat me like this? I was being a good person. I was being fair. When all this thinking stops, because life is not fair or unfair, life is just living itself through different beings. When this rational left brain thinking collapses, then the ego is dying. Then the right brain creative functioning is taking over. So some of this teaching makes sense, other it doesn't. This, that is all irrelevant. Now coming to the Guru, because there's such a baggage on this word. In fact, in South Bombay, which is where I am, it used to be looked down upon. They would think if you have a Guru, then you are weak. You see, the Guru word itself means consciousness. Guru is just consciousness. Keep the word and its implications aside. It literally translates as the remover of ignorance. You could call it the giver of light, the remover of ignorance. But it points to the light of consciousness behind the ego, the Guru. Now what happens is, in life, which is the manifest world and relationships, when I find someone I'm drawn to, there's something about this person, something appeals to me, I feel at peace or I feel at rest. I don't know what it is, I can't put words to it. What has actually happened is I am identifying with my own higher self, an aspect which I am not able to access directly. I'm looking for someone I empower with more knowledge, a way to live life. I see them living it as an example, and that becomes my ideal. So my higher self has got projected into another form, and that form itself is shining light back on me. So the Guru is not apart from you in that sense. So in my case, I was not looking for a Guru, plus there was this baggage of the word Guru, but I asked myself one thing, that this man whose talks I've been attending, his teaching is a validation of my life's experience. When he says nobody is the doer of their actions, whether I take a work situation, I had a situation where we hired a data manager and I was appalled at the way he was abusing the staff. So I called him in. I said, look, this does not happen in our organization. He said, that's why you're not growing. The only way to get work out of them is to abuse them. And I realized that this boy himself has been conditioned to be like this in his previous job. It is what he knows. So I realized he's playing out his script. I said, thank you, this is not the space. We need this kind of approach. And I let him go without any hatred, malice or anything. So you see what happens, the Guru figure shares an understanding, shares a light. You start looking at your life, the people in your life through that light, and it transforms the way you look at people. So the Guru is operating, the ego is not operating. Right? So this process happens. You come across someone, you see this is the ideal, it's actually your own self. And so that self starts talking back to you through the form of the Guru. Now the Guru knows there's no separation between the disciple and the Guru, it's the same consciousness, but the disciple does not know that. See, a Guru, pretend Guru would take advantage of it, you see. But the true Guru knows that there's no separation. The disciple has not realized that the Guru is the one source consciousness. So that Guru is just still shining as the light. It is the disciple who then takes the Guru, because it's very important also, because I'm no longer relying on my intelligence. I'm offering it to a higher power. So bowing down to the Guru is not an act of subservience. You're offering your ego. In Indian rituals, we offer coconut to the fire. The coconut represents the ego. So we are bowing down to what we consider is a force smarter than us. So that is called surrender. That I'm not as smart as I thought I was. By the way, that's one reel which did very well, where I said, if you think you are as smart as you think you are, then you are not smart enough. It's very stressful because they want me to complete these in 30 seconds, you know. It's a new generation and a new age. So when you realize you're not as smart as you thought you were trying to force life to give you things because you felt you were enlightened, entitled to them, but life is not giving it to you, there's something to be learned. So to offer your head, bow down, is to surrender the ego at the feet of not an individual, at the feet of the source. You see, so my mother's guru, he was a judge of the High Court. I was young at the time. I would go for his meditations once in a while, and he would tell his old Sangha, leave all your troubles at my feet. I was appalled. So I would tell my mother, who does he think he is? He's telling everyone, leave your troubles at my feet. That means he'll solve everyone's problems. Then I realized, after years, what he's pointing to is, leave all your troubles at the feet of the source. He wasn't saying me, because he didn't say, I will solve your problems. Be wary of the Guru who says, I will solve your problems. Sai Baba of Shirdi himself has said, you are here to face your prarabdha karma. Nobody can escape it. This is what we say in all our Sai Baba talks. Yes, there were miracles and all fine, but he said even that was part of the divine blueprint. So the Guru is where there is love, trust and surrender, because it is to my own higher self. And it happens. You needn't go about finding your Guru. It happens. But yes, Maharaj said something pertinent here, because this is the age of YouTube. This is the age of a lot of access to a lot of things. He said you don't get water by digging shallow wells all over the land, but by digging one deep well. So find that one thing. By all means explore, see different teachers, different teachings, different forms of yoga, bhakti yoga, kriya yoga, gyan yoga, karma, whatever it is. But find that one where you feel like this feels like home. And then you dig deep there. And that is where you'll find the water.
And how do you recognize that this is home?
Because you'll know you found your peace. That is the only way. Home is where your peace is.
And if fear comes when in the equation?
Fear, that is witnessed. Why not? Let it come. The ego is very fearful. It doesn't want to die. Actually, when the ego stands in front of the Guru, a lot of fear arises, because it is offering its head for sacrifice. It is natural. You know, on a lighter note, this jumping from Guru to Guru, once in Dharamshala, there was a couple who came a bit late at the retreat. So the guy was like very proud that he's met many gurus and gone for many retreats. So he was saying, you know, I've been Muji Shuji, Ekhat Shekat. So I said, boss, then you'll say Gautam Shautam. So you go everywhere else and be happy in your journey. You see, we have to be careful, because it's not that light a subject. It reflects our relationship with ourselves, if that is the way we treat our spiritual journey. It's very... See, the guru-disciple relationship is not bound by the chains of karma in that sense. Because in this case, the guru wants nothing from you. All other relationships, there's a give and take. You may disagree. Someone will say, a mother will say, oh, my love for my child is unconditional. No. And Ramakrishna pointed this out. When a mother went to him and said that I have arrived, I have reached, he said, is it so? He said, could you say that you love everyone else's children as your own? She said, certainly not. My son is my son. He said, you haven't arrived. When you see, when you feel that all children are your children, you come back to me. Because it's a give and take. Make no mistake. Rinanu Bandhan. A relationship of two. But the guru-disciple relationship is a relationship of one. Only thing is, guru knows that, disciple doesn't. In Western circles, it is not given much importance and respect. But so be it. Because there have been bad, what do you call it? Bad apples. So be it. But I would say in my experience, I needed a guru, even though I didn't know it. My guru said he needed a guru. His guru said he needed a guru. Ramana Maharshi had the hill, the sacred hill of Shiva as a guru. All his literature is in praise of his guru, which is Arunachala hill. Even Ramana Maharshi has said you need a guru. Even Sai Baba has said you need a guru. You see, so I don't think all of them are wrong. But because of the arrogance of the intellect, we feel we can make it through life on our own. That is the arrogance of the intellect. Sadhguru was quite right about this. He said, when we are young, our parents are gurus, they teach us. Then the teachers in school are gurus, they are teaching us. Then college teachers are teaching us. But life we feel we can do on our own. Yes. Does it make sense? When someone has walked the path, been there, done that, and are just shining a torch on your path, and you feel you don't need it. So Guru is consciousness. This teaching of Advaita makes the person not depend on the Guru. Guru is not here to give you answers. You go with a problem, should I invest in this stock or this stock, and you'll get the right answer. Or this girlfriend or that girlfriend. Guys, come, I have this girl and that girl, which should I go for? I said, this teaching is not going to tell you all that. It will put the cards on the table. You still have to deal. You have to pull out the cards. All actions have consequences as per the divine script. It's not a crutch. The Guru is not here to solve your problems. The Guru is here to face your problems with peace, equanimity and calm. So you're done with it. You're not carrying that load anymore. That is the role of the Guru. The Guru is Brahma, Guru is Vishnu and Mahesh. Creator, preserver and destroyer of what? All your concepts. The Guru will destroy them. What is preserved is consciousness, the light of consciousness, Vishnu, all-pervading source consciousness. So it's a total transformation.
Sorry, Gautam, I've bombarded you a lot of questions before the satsang.
So your time is up.
It's not meant to be. Last one. I'd almost convinced myself with whatever we discussed, but again, when you brought up this concept of surrendering, that again creates dilemma in my mind about free will. So when I say I'm going to surrender and it's all meant to be, it will happen the way it's supposed to be, then the concept of free will, the karma, the words coming from my mouth, the thoughts, everything is meant to be the way it should be, then I should just let it be, right? Should not worry about what I say. I mean, I'll try to, but in somewhere within myself, I say that this is how it was supposed to be. Or the other person saying, because if it's coming from the source, even the other person can't do anything about it because it's just meant to happen the way it is. That means there is no free will. If I can get one word answer, yes or no, I don't want yes and no.
It's not a one-word answer. You have free will and you don't. Free will is the mechanism of functioning in daily living. I have to take a decision. Supposing I have to relocate, do I go to that country? Do I not? A decision has to be made. So that is my free will. But what is my free will based on? My genetics and my conditioning. My nature. Did I create my nature?
No.
God did. So free will is the mechanism of functioning in daily living, but its value is worthless. So the sage knows that even through the sage's life, decisions will have to be made. But the sage knows those are apparent decisions being made by an individual because the script is already written. So the sage does not fret about the exercising of free will because he knows the outcome is not guaranteed. He knows the outcome is thy will be done. Yet decisions must be made. So he makes the decisions and he is not carrying the burden which you and me are carrying. The burden that I made the decision, so now I feel very bad because it went wrong. The outcome was a disaster. This burden the sage does not carry.
But somehow the sage knows that this decision was made through the consciousness and not his decision.
Absolutely, but yet the sage knows he has to exercise free will in a given situation. You see? He knows that. Otherwise, life cannot go on. And you cannot say, I decided to surrender. If a cop comes and pulls a gun and says, hands up, you're not going to say, I think I'll decide to put my hands up. It'll go up. So life will make you surrender, you see. Life makes, that is why the sages say cooperate with it. Yeah. Actually, it becomes an amazing journey, as Shafiq, you might have realized. Each is no longer seen as a for or against. Life is no longer seen as a for. You've not cut it up like a big cake into two parts. It's just one big whole cake. Yeah. There's no for or against whom. In deep sleep, there's no for or against. Your loved ones and your least loved ones, you don't even know that they exist when you're in deep sleep. Isn't that crazy? But they become so precious in the waking state.
And we love deep sleep so much. If the closest one you love were to keep waking you up, we would hate them.
Yeah. Well said.
Gautam ji, it's so nice to see you in person. I had attended a Zoom call in December 2025, and I remember telling you that I'm a parent to a special needs child. Yes, and I'd asked you about surrender and how difficult it is to surrender as a mother in meditation. And come forward 6 months. I didn't know that you were coming here. So this is truly Baba's blessings that I'm seeing you in person, because I remember I came to a situation 2 months back where I was in a helpless situation. I was like, I'm just so helpless here that I want to help my child, but I can't. And he's not ready to accept my help as well. And I remember the date. It was exactly the 13th, and today is the 13th, where I had seen a reel of yours on doership, the 3 levels of doership with Gorakhnath's Doha and you describing that. And there was another one with prayer of surrender. What's the true prayer of surrender? And how helplessness actually creates humility and brings about humility because it makes you see things as they are. And that just opened my eyes onto so many things where the first thing that came up was a mother's love is actually may not be unconditional, because you're trying to force your desires or your wishes to help the child, but maybe he has a different plan. Because I remember you actually recommending Soul's Plan, the book, to me. And so many things have opened up, and I've realized and seen the attachment to the ego. Love for the child is different, but attachment of your ego brings about so many things which probably may be good for the child, or you may think it is good, but that's not what he's here to teach me, truly. And I think every single thing that followed, because I remember the day I saw your reels, I was like, I need to be in Mumbai to actually see you and come to your house to attend a satsang. I was like, this is not going to be possible because it's so tricky. I'm from Pune, so it's actually, it's quite easy that way, but with my son and getting everything, it would be tricky. This is unexpected for me to see you here. This is truly Baba's blessings, and I just feel the peace. I just feel and today the things that you have spoken on surrender, on non-doership, I think it's just hit the right chords and just told me exactly what I need to be seeing, and why I wasn't able to surrender in meditation. And because it was the fear of letting go, and that fear is also because there's so much of attachment. Probably the heaviest weight that we carry, is the attachment to who you are. And I think I have found my answers. It's going to be a long journey, but thank you so much for this. Thank you.
See, this is a long journey, but there's no going back.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It is the journey home.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think I'm with more peace now than ever before.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
The book she's referring to is a book called Your Soul's Plan, which we published. It is very interesting. It is a therapist who regresses his patients to the pre-birth stage, not the past life, the pre-birth stage, and he's taken interesting stories, an alcoholic, AIDS victim, a terrorist victim, and he has regressed them to the pre-birth stage. I mean, my guru would have loved this book because at that stage it is decided, the alcoholic is decided that this person will be the alcoholic and the people in the family will be the caregivers because they have lessons to learn. So all the roles are decided and then manifestation plays out. And so when we realize that everything is here to teach us what we had decided in advance to learn,
yes,
it's so much easier because we are no longer battling with life. It reminds me of when Joel Goldsmith in one of his books said that a woman came to him because her husband was alcoholic. And after 1 hour of listening to her and her husband's alcohol being the reason for all the problems, the mess, everything, he told her, he said, "Ma'am, I don't think your husband is the alcoholic. I think you are. Because you are carrying this whole weight and you are obsessed with it." And then, of course, he went about his healing. But you see, it's a very important point because another example he gives is a man goes into a bar and starts having one drink after another, and after many drinks, he turns and looks at the other guy who's sitting there at the bar and he says, "Excuse me, if you don't mind me saying, I think you should start drinking less because you've started looking blurry. This is what we are. Our vision is blurred, but we see the flaws in the others. You see, the Maya has made us drunk.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. What a crazy... It's so crazy how much we torture ourselves for no reason.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I think Sandeep and Smriti have some tea and snacks which are going to be served. Yeah, so it's been a delight. Yes.
Namaste, Gautam ji. My name is Sonia.
You have the phone for the recording?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I've been following you since COVID, and then stopped a little bit, and then all of
because
a sudden...
COVID got over and everything was normal.
No. I think it was the man-God theory. I wasn't sure. And then all of a sudden you came back again. And also I'm a Baba follower, so I've been listening to some of the teachings. Again, much thanks, because you've taken me from a place of victimhood and more towards peace, because to remain in victimhood is pretty dark. My question, I hope I can articulate it, is I work and I'm surrounded by a lot of conflict, a lot of trauma amongst children, and I also run a group for women as well. And I struggle with the doership, where I come across horrific things that happen to children in my work, because I work in a unit for excluded children. So I come across a lot of paperwork, a lot of experiences, a lot of trauma, a lot of drama, addictions. And the group I run is for women who are going through a lot of trauma as well. How can my brain and my faith balance that doership? It's so intense that how can the journey towards peace and understanding kind of show itself up so life can be simpler?
No, so are you asking that how can I absolve people of being doers when they are doing such horrific things? Is that
and
it?
The question, yeah, and why?
Why? This has been happening for centuries. Do you know that in the Crusades, they used to tie up soldiers to 4 horses, 2 limbs to 2 horses, 2 limbs, the hands to 2 horses, and make the 4 horses go in opposite directions? This is the human deception.
It's so painful.
It is.
So painful.
This is the darkness of the ego. But you see, my teacher was asked this question: why did God create handicapped children? What harm have they done to anyone? Children of special needs. And he very beautifully said, why don't we ask, why has God created healthy children? Is it our birthright? But in this realm of duality, there are children who are not healthy, children who are healthy. So what happens is we go to one polarity and we get obsessed with it. What about all the people who are beautiful beings, who are sharing beautiful light with others? Our focus does not go to them. So to realize that the darkness of the ego makes people do the things they do. You know, in fact, this is a very powerful thing, because Goldsmith used to swear by it. I consider Joel Goldsmith an Advaita master, although those words didn't exist in his time. He dropped his body in the 60s. That when you see something which you call negative in the others, you know they are not doing it purposely. It is the ignorance, the force of ignorance which is operating. That is all. So he was very much against telling people that they should not think negatively, they should think positively, and all those, because you're playing into the ignorance. And I saw this, that when I was when I started meeting Ramesh ji, I met an Australian doctor, and he had a cancer patient. And the cancer patient went to a feel-good positivity course, and they promised him he'd get cured of the cancer if he changed his thought processes and all that. And he was declining, and he eventually died. And this doctor in Australia told me, he said, Gautam, it was such a grave injustice done to this man, because he was made to feel responsible for his cancer. That you thought this way, you had anger issues, and also you've got this cancer, now you think positively. So where he would have just died of cancer, he died of guilt. And he said, the cancer patient said, that I told the facilitator of the course, because the facilitator told him, you're declining because you've not given it your best. Can someone like this not give their best if it's their only hope? So you see, to see that this darkness in the world has always been there. Pain will arise for a sensitive person when they see all this. That is the design of life, a total acceptance of what is, whether I like it or not. Thereafter, I do what I think and feel I should do. If it is my nature to do something, if it is my nature to deal with such cases, I deal with it. There is a girl who comes to a retreat sometimes, and she deals with prisoners, their issues, and her friends or family say, please don't do that, you'll become like one of them. I asked her, I said, no, are you at peace? Do you feel you're doing a good job? And are you getting good results? She said, yes. I said, please stick with your truth. Don't listen to others. So everyone has their role assigned. There are helpers like you who will be assigned to treat some people like this. Others will not be assigned. Pain will have to be faced. It's not going to disappear. The why question disappears. Why, God, why did you do this? What harm have they done? You see? And more importantly, that helper needs to be at peace first. It sounds like a joke, but Maharaj told this to someone who was a social activist. He said to her, you think the world needs saving, but actually it is the world that needs to be saved from you. Means, first you be at peace, then be a light of peace to the world.
Thank you.
Can I just say something? It's just a thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming here, because it had been my... no, I think I'm very loud anyway.
No, that's for the recording.
Oh, yeah. So, Gautamji, thank you very much for coming. And it had been my dream to meet you in person. I have been listening to your YouTube channel and whatever since many years. And it has brought me a lot of peace, because I have been a cancer patient, and I have had surgeries, and I had to retire. So there was plenty of time. And so I used to watch your videos, and I found peace. And though I am a believer in Sai Baba, and I go to Shirdi almost every year, and I try to find some time to come and see you, meaning for the satsang on Sundays, but somehow I have not been able to make it. So I'm thrilled that you have come. It's been an honor. And thank you, of course, to Sandeep and Smriti that they've arranged this. And I hope that you'll be coming more often, and because it's difficult for us to try. Well, even though I come once a year, but it is for treatment. So I have very few days in Mumbai, and I have to go to Shirdi as well. So thank you very much.
So are you in the clear now?
Yes, I am. But I have plenty of other medical problems. So I come to Coimbatore or Kochi for Ayurvedic treatment every year. But that peace has come. And when you asked that from here, who can say really bad words? So I was one of them. I have to admit, because I get very angry, and alcoholic people make me more angry. So yes, the words were there. But over the years, listening to you and Nikhilji, and more to you, it's been a game. It's really changed my nature. At least I hope people think that I am. But there is one thing which I have done. I used to have a lot of friends, and after retiring, I've sort of cut down on my friends, and I spend more time at home, just by myself, listening to Sai Baba, whatever there is, and then listening to your YouTube lectures. And so is it wrong to sort of, make yourself less going here, there, even though I never had a habit of going here and there? But when you're in a job, you are going for your job, then you come back, and then you have a lot of socializing, with the in-laws and extended family.
With the in-laws and the outlaws.
Outlaws also. And it is so right that we do have this, favorite people and not so favorite people and all that. So I have cut it down, and now everybody is sort of equal. My friends with whom I keep in touch, they are all the same. There's no better friend and not better friend. And all this has come about by listening to, and your
to me?
To you.
So your friends might not be happy.
In fact, I have given some of them who are a little troublesome your name. No, your name to listen to you, but they haven't bothered. This thing regarding the same consciousness and the same electricity running through it is very powerful. And also the other one, which is very, Gorakhnath said something, all this. I have a problem with my brain, so I can't recall everything. So
Gorakhnath said, Sahaj mila so doodh barabar, mang liya so pani, khinch liya so rakt barabar, Gorakh bole bani. This is the whole of Advaita.
It's
what comes
just
unasked
beautiful.
For you is like getting milk. Pleasure or pain?
Yeah. It's really beautiful.
Sahaj Mila means Sahaj. Nisargadatta Maharaj called his yoga a Sahaj yoga. Nisarg yoga, he called it. Effortless, that which comes unasked, is like getting milk. You see, because both are coming to square off your accounts. Mang liya so pani, because that want is doership. So when you ask, first is unasked, but when you ask, you get water. But when you take, you get blood.
Sorry, what is the last one?
When you take what is not yours, you get blood. The whole of Advaita is in this. Because these are levels of doership. Absolute non-doership, Sahaj mila so doodh barabar. Mang liya so pani, that's the in-between. But when you take what does not belong to you, it is like taking blood. Thus speaks Gorakhnath. And you'll be surprised that 90% of us, we think we are in the milk, but we are in the blood.
Yes.
You see, why? You may even take someone else's peace of mind.
Yes, very true.
We are not talking of taking people's money or physical things. You have to be very careful.
Peace of mind is very, very important because even our tongue, a harsh tongue, it does take away the peace which somebody is having. I mean, not necessarily we need to take money from people or, things like that, but a very simple thing, isn't it? That you have a very sharp tongue and you say something which hurts the other person very much.
But coming back to your question.
Yes.
See, what happens is superficial social interactions start dropping away. Because as we were saying before the satsang, most of us are just sharing our opinions about Donald Trump and the Iran war as if we have some insider information and all these kind of things, right? So there's no longer engagement socially at the superficial level. So those interactions start coming down because you have no need for them.
Yes.
Someone who's young, like a guy in his 20s, may also be a mature soul and doesn't feel to engage in this beyond a point. Someone will feel it at the end of their life because they don't need that. Yet, you may be in a setting where it is healthy to have social interactions. To engage with people is also healthy and we are built to engage. What will happen is you will just find the middle path. You will engage with those friends, those relationships which nourish you and not which you are trying to project yourself as a particular person.
Yes.
So overall they'll come down because there's less of dependence and need for them, but you will be more discretionary with your friends. And you will have preferences. Like for example, if you are the quiet type, you may prefer a friend who's also quiet rather than a friend who talks a lot. But you've not judged the friend who talks a lot, you see. But you may prefer, like I want to meet someone at 4 p.m. that I'd rather meet this person than this person. That is okay. That is a preference. As long as judging is not happening.
Yes, so judging is not happening. And so what I was trying to say is that there's this tremendous change which has taken over, which has taken place. And more, when I read, I've got your book also, Heart to Heart, but I haven't been able to read it. And of course, with my medical conditions and all that, my brain, I'm not able to recall. So I need to read things so that at least I am able to understand. But you have made all I can say is that I have enjoyed listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd just like to add before we close that coincidentally, my closest friend from Bombay is there. Harsh is his name. He's in London for 3 years or 4 years? 4 years. And his son, who's my godson, Ryan, he's written a beautiful foreword to a book, which is The Eternal Truth in the Light of Sikhism. Because at a young age, he had studied all the religions. So I asked him to write that. Blog is up on the website.
Okay.
So you guys can meet them. And Malini is Harsh's wife. And of course, Rayan's beautiful mother. She is also very special and very grounded. Her father, I used to have tremendous regard for. He was certainly on a very evolved spiritual plane. I think he had I didn't know him well, but I think he had a total acceptance of what is. I would put my bets on that. Am I right?
Yes, totally. At the end, there was one thing he said when I kept dancing through so many things in my life. And at the end, once I asked him something and he said, nobody knows. Because finally, through all that, he just came to that.
That's
Complete
it.
surrender.
Nobody knows.
It was complete surrender at the end.
And the other one, which I always repeat every single day, is Thy will be done.
Yeah. Yes.
Thy peace, thy grace.
These are the mantras of Advaita. Thy will be done. Advaita initiation is an initiation into peace. That is why Nisargadatta Maharaj said these are the gurus of the last resort. You know, when Osho would send his disciples to trouble Maharaj, he would tell them, you all finish all your jumping and dancing there first, then you come back. But what was he pointing at? Do what you think you should do, try out everything, figure things out for yourself. Once you surrender, Advait means not to. Appears as to, not to. Advait. That is the ultimate surrender. You come to Advaita. What is beyond that? It's finished. The story is over. The game is over. The game is up. Then the lessons are learned. Mrityu Lok. When you have learned the lessons of death, you don't need to come back. That's it.